Hi folks, we're Mike and Trisha and we're out and about today in our camper van along with our wee dog Kira. We've been exploring along the Murray coast in Scotland, driving from west to east. In our last video we visited the Glenfiddich distillery in Dufftown and I had such a good afternoon sampling a few whiskies, actually quite a few.
And I'll be in Scotland for ye.
And that's why Trisha's driving as we head off to look for a parkup for the night. This is the J&B distillery, but there's no overnight parking here. Nope, no chance, that's not an option. We've found one on Park for Night that looks good. It's at the coast in the town of Banff. This will be a nice little park up if we can get in here. There's the harbour down there. It's looking promising. Bit choppy though, I have to say. Somebody's already in here, they've beaten us to it. Snuggle in beside him, shall we? There we go. That'll do us nicely. I'm glad we managed to find that park up, but neither of us really fancied cooking tonight, so we've just popped into the town centre and we managed to find a little fish and chip shop. Now, unfortunately, they wouldn't let me in with Kira. You know, the trials and tribulations of having a dog. Trisha was into Morrison's to pick up another few bits and pieces, and she's come back out. So she's went in for the fish and chips, and me and Kira will just have to wait outside here in the rain. Right, managed to pick up some of our favourite red.
Yeah.
And we'll see if it was worth the wait for this chippy. A nice wee fish and chips, eh?
Yep.
Right, what do you think? Looks good.
The batter's a bit greasy, but crisp.
Chips are nice.
Chips are good.
Mmm.
Fish is nice.
And you've got 1.5 fish.
I've got a big portion.
If you can manage that, let me know if you can, alright?
Kira will help.
Yeah, she will. I think this is a lovely little park up though. It'll also do us tonight, won't it?
Yeah.
And tomorrow we'll have a wee wander round Banff.
Yeah, that'll be good.
It's an absolutely beautiful morning here in Banff and I'm just having a little walk around the marina. It's a lovely quiet little spot that we had and it was just a park for night that we found. We managed to reverse in so that the back windows were facing out to sea and we had that view when we woke up this morning. Albeit the sea's still a little bit choppy, there's still a bit of wind around, but what a great day to start off with. And there's toilets here on the marina, so that's handy. Trish has just been, I'm going, so we'll do the handover. There you go. That was a nice wee walk around the marina then, wasn't it?
Yeah, when you go round the harbour bit, it's like more sheltered, isn't it?
It is, yeah, but nice to get back to the van and get the van into day mode as well, so the bed's getting away and getting the seats back up, gives us a little bit more space.
Yeah, it just feels more spacious. Plus you can sit at the back and look out the back window if you want.
Aye, absolutely. Well, we quite often do that though, don't we? Go out for a walk first, give Kira her little morning walk and then come back for our cuppa. Gave us a chance to nip to the loo as well, didn't it?
Yes. These loos are very, very clean, immaculate.
Yeah.
Really nice.
Aye, I noticed there's a little entry system on the door, but the gents wasn't working. It was just open.
No, so the toilets here are open from 8 until 6 p.m. And that's why they have the lock. But I would imagine if you're maybe in the marina on a boat and they maybe give you a code because you're paying for the marina or whatever.
Yeah, but they let members of the public
Yes, it's a
use
public
them
toilet,
too.
yeah.
And they know that people wild camp here in their camper vans, and they're quite okay with us using them too.
Did you see the sign up though about emptying toilet waste?
I did notice that, yeah.
Yeah, so you're not allowed to empty the cassette toilets down the pan.
We would never dream of doing that.
No,
in
no.
a toilet.
In a public,
in a public toilet.
No, we're tending now to go to CL sites. I like CL sites. They're a lot cheaper. And we don't need all the fancy facilities, do we?
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, we're at the stage now where we're basically saying, you know, campsite fees are kind of ruling out campsites for us a lot of the time. They're too expensive.
Yeah, but the campsites do offer facilities, so they have like shower blocks and everything like that, and they also maybe have a clubhouse for kids and play areas for kids, and we don't need any of that.
No, we don't.
We are the simple life.
We've got quite modest needs, and when it comes to the toilet, what we find is that the toilet cassette that we've got here in the van, we use our toilet really for number ones, don't we?
Yeah.
For doing ways, and we always find somewhere when we're out and about to do number twos.
Yeah.
And that way it means that we can use less chemicals in our toilet because we're just using it for number ones.
Yeah.
So it's better for the environment. And then when we're on a CL site or some of the motorhome airs have got toilet facilities, places like this, or if you're out, you're in a cafe or you're stopping for lunch, you're out and about, then you can go, can't you?
Yes, you can.
Yeah. But honestly, people emptying their toilet cassette in there.
I mean, I know people can be desperate, and I know, you know, we've came up at that our toilet has been got the light on it, and we're thinking, oh, you get toilet anxiety of it's got to be emptied. But I think you should always be aware and empty it in the proper facilities. Now, the council here does offer facilities for emptying waste. Your grey water waste and your toilet waste, and it's up at the Banff Links Caravan Park.
Oh yeah, they tell you about that.
Yeah, they tell you on the
sign,
sign,
inside that you can go up there.
The only thing I think is £8 to do that. Personally, I think that's a bit expensive, but really, if you needed to do it, you would do it.
It's only £8. Really. I mean, so there's toilets there. They're going there to empty their toilet cassette. I mean, they could go there and do the toilet in those toilets and not empty their toilet cassette and then disappear and empty their toilet cassette at their next stop.
Yeah. But then I suppose as well, £8 for you to empty your waste, fill up your water, empty your toilet. But then you're getting this parkup for nothing.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, so I think
come on.
Yeah. You really... It's good to look for parkups where it doesn't cost you anything to actually park up, but, you know, be considerate of the locals and facilities and use facilities if they're put on for you.
Yeah, too right. We've come out for a walk along the seafront. There's a beautiful beach here in Banff. It seems to go on and on. Here I would love to be down there playing, but unfortunately she's got a sore paw at the moment. Maybe I overdid it with her when I went to Findlater Castle. It was quite a tough walk. There was lots of ups and downs, and she's got a sore paw now, so we're resting her up. If she was on that beach, she would just be running riot. The adrenaline would kick in, and she'd forget about her sore paw and make it worse. Anyway, we've come up to an old cemetery here, an old graveyard. It's medieval, so it's got to be worth a look. This old graveyard, it's the most important part of medieval Banff. Not only are many of the famous inhabitants interred here, but also it has the remains of St Mary's Kirk.
Look at this gravestone, Death with the Scythe. It's very defined, even though it's so old, from 1765. He's holding the sands of time in the other hand.
All that remains of the old St Mary's Kirk is, firstly, there's this part here that's known as the aisle, It was rebuilt around 1471, and then the north wall is around this side over here with all of these graves against it. And the only reason that these parts remain is because they contain the bodies of some important people that were interred here.
This is the Banff Isle. It's a canopy tomb from 1588, and it's the Ogilvies that are interred here.
There's a little cat on the wall here, and he's picked a really important spot. This is a tomb for the Bairds of Auchmedin, dates to 1636. And it's got a very medieval feel to it. He's resting with his hands clenched in prayer. I notice he also has his sword by his side.
We have one last look around the graveyard before we go. They certainly don't make gravestones like these anymore. They wouldn't be out of place in some old horror movie.
Look up here. This is the house of Thomas Forbes, silversmith, 1740. Look at this one, it's a merchant's house from 1675. I wonder if it was originally painted this pink.
We just had to nip into that pet shop. We've been looking for something to treat ticks because Kira had obviously picked up a few after that walk that we did. So we've picked them all off, but it's always good to give her the treatment too.
Look, it's a dog. Doesn't work. Ho, everyone that thirsts, come ye to the waters.
I think Kira thinks she's about to get a treat, but she's not. She's going to be getting some tick treatment because we don't like ticks. We don't do ticks. Death to ticks. Just a little sachet, and on it goes round her collar. But that will actually take effect, and if any ticks go on her and get a bite, they will just drop off. Kill them dead in their tracks. The old steeple and townhouse here both date to the late 18th century. And just on the side of this building, there's some older dates, 1628, 1634. Some holy figures. Looks like it may have been a church. That looks like a coat of arms.
We carry on walking through Banff and there's an interesting wee shop here, Books Abroad.
I did manage to pick up a couple of books and a Noor Willie book to read when we were back in Cullen. But there's another book here that's caught my eye. And it's from one of our favourite YouTubers, Cameron McNeish. Not always been a YouTuber. He's done a lot in his time, I think. Wrote a lot of books, climbed a lot of hills, and presented a lot of shows for BBC and the like. But definitely check him out if you've never seen him on YouTube. Cameron McNeish, look him up. You'll not regret it. Great channel. That was a great little bookshop, so it was. And everything was categorised. You know, alphabetical order, and you know, there was a section for each different type of book. Very well organised. So we had a good old look round. Trish managed to pick up a couple of books, another couple of books, and she goes through them so quickly. And I managed to get another book as well, but I'm looking forward to having a good look through that Cameron McNeish book and see if there's any mountains or Munros in there that I can possibly take on when my back's a little bit better, that is.
Soon after, we pass by this chicken restaurant, and the cartoon logo reminds me of Los Polos Hermanos out of Breaking Bad, but I'm pretty sure they don't share the same business model. On the way back to the van, we head into the site where Banff Castle once stood. Today it's a stately mansion, and we go into the grounds for a look.
Good year for the roses then, eh?
Yes, excellent. This is the first year.
Aye. What was it? The first year?
Yes.
They look well established too.
It's called Braveheart.
Braveheart. Ah, I like them when they've got quite a nice open habit because just it's better for the insects, isn't it?
Yes. Yeah.
I love these tree sculptures that people do. I think they use chainsaws and things like that. This one's like got a huge burr. And then I can see a man's face, a woman's face. Looks like a dragon as well. A raven. Really, really interesting. I do like these.
The large yellow building, that's actually an old manor house that dates from the 18th century. The castle, we now realise, we're going to find it because it's just around the corner here. It's an old defensive wall and it's from the 12th century. There's not much left of it apparently.
This must have been the castle wall, the old castle wall, and a doorway. And I think this is the moat, the remains of a moat round it.
We're not going to go into the manor house because it's past lunchtime actually, so we're going back to the van for a bite to eat.
And in true Breaking Bad style, we're back at the van and we're cooking up. We've had our lunch back at the van here, nothing fancy, just soup, crackers, and Kira had something too. And I'm going to head off for a wee walk now. Just a 10-15 minute walk I think it'll be, going up to see the Temple of Venus, which stands on a hill here overlooking Banff and Macduff. Trisha's going to wait in the van and I shouldn't be long.
I can just about make out where I'm going, over the other side of the River Devon. I need to walk over that bridge and there's the monument up there at the top of that hill. This must be the way. And I'm here, Temple of Venus. Can't see any statue of Venus inside. Just a couple of kids having their lunch. I've had a little walk around the outside and I can't see a way in. There's no door or opening to take you in. You can see in, but you can't get in unless you climb over one of these bits. Just a rough casting on the outside. Not all that impressive really. I would imagine that there would have been a statue on the inside.
Well, the monument may not have been all that impressive, but the view certainly is, that's for sure.
It's much later now and we're just enjoying some early evening sun here at Gamry Bay, which is a caravan and motorhome club CL site. I'd say this place is intended more for caravans and larger motorhomes because it's got these really big wide spaces. Each has its own tap and the grass and gravel pitches are immaculately maintained. There's a hut that they call the Wee Bothy, and inside there's an honesty box and homemade goodies on sale, lots of information, and you can borrow one of their DVDs if that's your thing. But most importantly, we've got electric hookup here because we've still been having some problems with our power here in the van. The fridge was going beep, beep, beep again last night, so we're going to charge everything up and make good use of the electric hookup facilities here. For our tea tonight, we're going to have one of Trisha's specialities, pita bread pizza.
You have to grill the pita breads to warm them up, and then with a very sharp knife you want to half them to open them up. Once you've opened them up, you put them in under the grill. Then the fun part, we load them up. I use as a base pesto, but sun-dried tomato pesto. Smooth that all over them to give moisture to the pita bread. Toppings, we'll start with Mike's. So he likes a bit of chicken. Now we add mozzarella, spacing it out a wee bit. And cheddar. I've grated it down just to make it easy to put on. Next we'll add some olives. A bit of Italian seasoning. Pop it all back under the grill. And while we're waiting, Mike, I'll have a nice glass of wine.
I don't know. Why do I always have to get the difficult jobs to do? Here you go.
It doesn't need very long to cook. Just keep checking it to make sure it doesn't burn. But that looks ready. Pity we don't have smell-o-vision. It smells delicious. Give me your plate, Mike.
I've been looking forward to this. Oh, it's really, really good. Absolutely delicious. The garlic olives have really added to it. Have this, and there's another one in there keeping warm for me. Now, this is how you should eat pizza. Oh, yeah.
The sun-dried tomato is really good, isn't it?
It's the next morning and we've got a yellow weather warning here. The wind outside is absolutely ferocious. So we've decided we're going to bail. We were only going to be another few days anyway, but we're not going to hang about in this weather. I'm sure it'll not be too long before once again we're out and about. Ta-ra for now.